everybody, this is KDJXX here for, Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuffs. It's been a long time, I know, which is why I'm starting this off with something relatively interesting. Does anyone remember here the 5Ds era? Because I do. Vaguely. I also remember that there's a beautiful thing that Konami came up with in the shape of a giant purple dolphin. I mean, just look at it. I mean, who could not love a giant purple dolphin demon that is just like jumping out of fire from some weird like crop circle? Now, I never watched the series. Like, to tell a lie, I did. I watched the first few episodes, but I never got really as far as the Dark Signer arc. But Chaku Kalua was one of the first ultra rares I ever pulled because I bought a booster box of Ancient Prophecy. I think I said that quite a few videos back. So I saw this as like, hey, it's a giant purple dolphin. I've got to come up with this, and then it became sort of like my spirit card. It's like it's since been put in the Ancient Prophecy folder, but it's sort of, I've always wanted to like do something with Chaku Kalua, but I thought Earthbound Immortals are so difficult to use, and then Mound of the Bound Creator came out, and then I cried with happiness because I immediately decided, good idea. And then I forgot, obviously. But now we're back into a new series of deck showcases on a new thing, because you'll notice this is DevPro and not Dueling Network. And we're here with a, well, probably a terrible summoning engine, but I don't really care. However, this deck type that I've built is pre-Vassal, so I could probably have used the Vassals, but another thing is I haven't updated this since the DevPro patch for the new server, so I can't access any of that stuff yet. But anyway, the whole premise of this deck is to summon Chaku Kalua for a lockdown. Because Chaku Kalua is the only real one that I could see that has lockdown capability, due to its ability to inflict burn damage whilst not having to attack. So this sort of gets us over things like level limit area B decks, stuff like that. Ghost Tricks. Well, Faye gets over Ghost Tricks anyway. But obviously most of the cards here are just do something, summon. But the important thing to note is Hardened Armed, because Hardened Armed, if you tribute it for Chaku Kalua, it means that it immediately cannot be destroyed by card effects. Which, when you consider that it's an Earthbound Immortal, is broken, because it stops it from being killed by its own detrimental effect. Oh, I'm sorry, there's no field spell, I don't even care. Which is brilliant, you know, brilliant. I don't even care that I don't have a field spell, because it can't be destroyed by card effects. It at this point basically becomes a Beowulf. You can't attack it, you probably can't attack directly with anything I control, and you cannot destroy it by card effects. The only thing you can do is there's very few things you can do, which are things like Stormforth, blanket banishing techniques, or, you know, treating it, or things like that. Things that don't target. Which very few decks actually do. It's getting more common now because of things like Beowulf, and other cards. I think there's this mainly stuff like Pepe, which has been hilariously banned recently. But yeah, that's the simplest monster lineup that you can think of. The only issue is that there's a bad draw engine here, because there isn't one. And the fact is you're sort of having to minus for those ones. But I sort of alternate between minusing one for the other, because you don't need these in every single situation, you don't need these in every single situation. I'm running Earthbound Whirlwind as opposed to like MST, because it blows up everything. And if you're not controlling an Earthbound Immortal monster, well, if you're not controlling Chaku, you are losing. So, whether you could play MST or not, in that case, is pretty much moot. Because you'd only ever want a cleared field, or you would only attempt to use MST or something if Chaku is on the field, because you want to bait something out. So you might as well just run Earthbound Whirlwind instead. and obviously you've got to run Mound of the Bound for its first effect just to stop the targeting, or, you know, the destruction if you haven't tributed through Hardened. Then, the annoying thing is Savage Colosseum, because I'm planning in the side deck to run, final attack orders, and here's why. Because of the fact that, you kind of select, Chaco's attack target, it's brilliant, because the clause isn't like, because there's one other card that's out there that says, you cannot target this card for an attack, but it doesn't stop your opponent from attacking directly. There's something like that, I can't remember what it's called, out in the postcard, please. But with Chaco Kaloa, it doesn't have that clause, which would indicate to me that if it's the only monster you control, your opponent cannot attack, in theory. So therefore, Savage Colosseum comes into play, which then says, oh, you didn't attack, all your attack position monsters get blown up. Which means, combine that with final attack orders, which means all your opponent's face monsters have to be in attack, and you have a constant Regeki. A constant Regeki. Yeah, it's 3 cards instead of 1, but think about it. It's like every single turn. You can field clear. It's a little situational, but, you know, it's this kind of dick move setup that is beautiful. Then, obviously, you have your 3 Earthbound Waves for your negation purposes. There's probably something better here, and I'm probably being stupid, but I wanted to go with the Earthbound Immortal theme. 3 Swords Revealing Light, in case things go wrong, or in case you're trying to build up your summons, but you can't do it, but you sort of don't have the time or the speed, because you're going into a deck that says, you know, oh, like, if your summon's been negated, then you really need to make sure you don't get it decayed. I may drop this down to 1, though, or 2, because there's obviously other things that you could put in, like Solemn Strike, there's the new Solemn Strike, and things like that, which would probably be better to try to further stop your opponent from doing anything. The same with Mirror Force, really. And there's no extra deck, because there's probably an XYZ that could add consistency here, but I don't know what it is. Answers in a postcard, please. And then finally, I just thought I'd sort of take these into the side deck, because obviously you can replace those with some of those in decks where your opponent uses a lot of XYZs. So, because obviously they're useless against decks like Monarchs, which is why you wouldn't put them in the main. But putting them inside, you know, if your opponent's running a rank 4 spam, you're getting free summons. Even more free summons, even more likely to bring out Chaku. But definitely what this deck needs is a little more draw power, because there's none. I was thinking maybe, for the sake of tributing, putting in Tricky Spell 4, but I don't know about consistency with that. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, and favorite, and subscribe if you did, because there's more where this came from. I'm getting back into this now. I now have the time to do frequent recording, so I'm going to get back into it now. Sorry, this has been so long. I still got this nervousness.